Hi, and welcome to Coach Barnabas. It is episode 81. I'm Corey. Thank you so much for joining me today. This particular episode is inspired by a recent conversation I had with somebody I work with. A conversation we had a couple of months ago is I have a team I work with. I'm the team leader, I'm the supervisor. And every month I meet with each member of my team for about a half an hour. We discuss work, but I also take a little time to catch up with them personally. And in one such conversation a couple months back, we were just talking about life and talking about how we live in such a forward-leaning culture and society and pace of life that there's just constantly motion. We're constantly busy. We have no patience. It used to be, microwaves. You could heat up your dinner in 3 minutes. Now we have air fryers and everything else. Coffee machines. Boop. Within 30 seconds, you have a piping hot cup of coffee or hot chocolate in my case, because I don't like coffee. Never like coffee. Sorry, my wife is, if she's watching this, we're still working through that. That was almost a deal breaker before we got married. At any rate, we live in a 24-hour news cycle. If we hear an emergency vehicle race by our house with lights and sirens going on, we can turn to social media, go to our town page, and within seconds find out, okay, there's a fire on such and such street, or a transformer blew up, or there's a car accident, or whatever. We can literally, it used to be like you had to wait till the 6 o'clock or 11 o'clock news to find out what happened today. Now you can just refresh the page and find out something that happened around the world within seconds. It's amazing. It's not, I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing, but I think it has spoiled us to where we have the expectations for results. And I think that can be damaging, especially when you live a life of faith. And God doesn't always, in fact, he probably very rarely, if ever, works on our timing when we have expectations, when we think a deadline is. God has his own time period. And I've said it before, I'll say it again, that sometimes to experience the fullness of God, we must endure the timing of God. Again, sometimes having to wait, having to be patient, having to persevere, having to endure are things that we're not accustomed to. We don't enjoy it. It's uncomfortable. But sometimes God wants to do amazing things, even in those times where we're waiting. And we're just used to doing things on our own and making things happen. But that's where things can get out of hand. If you just know the story of Abraham and Sarah. Before they were Abraham and Sarah, they were Abram and Sarai. And God had promised them children, but now they were getting pretty old. Hey, our ability to have children seems to be behind us. It's not going to happen. And to where Sarai, who later became Sarah, devised a plan that was not God's plan for them. It was not God's will for them. But she insisted on making things happen, and she ended up regretting it. And it caused a lot of friction. It caused broken relationships. And it disobeyed God. Now, God had mercy on them. He kept his promise and blessed them. But at the same time, there were consequences to doing things their way and not waiting on God. And I think of Psalm 46:10. Be still and know that I am God. And in the context of this verse is similar to what we see now, is there's just chaos all around the world, and there's wars, a lot of angst in the world, a lot of difficulties. God was just calling for us to, just to remind us that sometimes just be still and know that I am God. It's not based on what you see. It's not based on what you feel. It's not based on your fears. It's based on, sometimes you have to choose and you have to stop and say, you know what? Though I look around me and there's chaos and calamity, confusion, I didn't mean to use alliteration there, but it worked out. But there's all this stuff going on, and I just need to stop and choose to remember and know and rest on the fact that he is God, and he will be exalted above all things in his time. I want Jesus to come back like now. It'd be great if he interrupted this podcast and here he comes and takes us all home. That would be ideal. Wouldn't that, if you think about the things that may be stressing you out right now, the things that are creating some chaos in your own life, wouldn't it be great to just be removed from that, plucked away, boom, and you're in the presence of God without those worries? Well, hasn't happened yet. So don't know when it's going to happen. May not happen in our lifetime. So you know what? There are times in our life we just have to be still and know that He is God. And that's against our nature sometimes, especially in this day and age, in our culture right now. But it's in those times where it's quiet, where it's silent. Maybe you're even bored. I'll just flip through my phone. I mean, we don't even stop when we stop. We're constantly just looking for more. We're trying to feed our mind and stimulate our brains and whatever it may be. Sometimes it's with things that annoy us and anger us. We can't wait to respond to that thing. Maybe it's something to make us laugh or, fill our emotions, fill our minds with something. But sometimes God just says, be still, be quiet, and just wait on me. In Matthew, come unto me all who are weary and heavy laden, heavy burdened. You got a lot of things in your mind. You got a lot of obligations, a lot of pressures, deadlines. Come to me. You're weary, you're worn down. I will give you rest. How many of you are struggling with just even being able to sleep through the night or wake up exhausted, having to face another day, wishing you just crawl back in bed and fall asleep for another 6 hours? Happens. In a world that lives with pedal to the metal, is embrace quiet time, embrace solitude, embrace just stopping, being still, and just focus on the Lord. Listen to Him. Prayer, a lot of times, it's a monologue. We just pray. We say we lay out our list of things that we're interceding for, people we're interceding for, or lifting up our own needs. And then, but do we stop and listen? And just, what does God want to say to us? Be still and know that He is God. Come unto me, all who are weary and heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Isaiah chapter 40. They who wait upon the Lord, He will renew their strength, and they'll rise up on wings as eagles. They'll mount up on wings of eagles. It's like, how amazing is that? That God doesn't just like give us rest and you charge up your phone and it's good to go. It's like, no, He actually is the fuel. He carries us. And, we go beyond the borders of what we think our limitations are because we're resting in God and allowing Him to do what only He can do. Let Him move in and through you. But wait upon Him. If you're in a season where you're waiting for His promise to come true, continue to wait, continue to trust. Just, I gave the example of Abraham and Sarah. They pushed it. They rushed things. They did things not the way God intended it, and they had some consequences. But God still came through for them. So the lesson from that isn't like, hey, I'll just do things my way and God will still come through. That can't be our motive. Moses didn't see the promised land because he sinned against God. Okay, so I wouldn't use that as my template for success to get what you want. It's like, I'm just going to do it my way and God will still come through. So just be cautious, but just wait on God. Wait on Him. Be still. Know that He is God. Trust Him. And choose to let Him do things in His own time. Trust Him. Okay, so that's my word for you. It's my word of encouragement. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you. Thank you for taking the time to watch this. Maybe even share it, like it. That would be great. Means a lot. Your encouragement means a lot to me. So thank you for that. As we're a few days away from Thanksgiving, I have a lot to be grateful for. And I'm grateful for you. So thank you so much for taking the time. Be encouraged. Be an encourager. I look forward to talking again very soon. Take care.